There once was a little boy called NBZ who tried to narrate a Pokemon battle and did a really good job of it, and it was a really good narration. And then he pressed stop record, and everything crashed, and he lost the narration, and now he has to sit in front of his computer and do it again. So, hi! That's a true story, based on reality and real facts. We got a battle against Artemis, apparently, and this is from the Wild Chase stream yesterday, and we're just gonna go with it. So, Ferrothorn is a dick, and apparently he manipulates Latios to a huge extent because Latios is like, you know what, I want to kill you with HP Fire, but Ferrothorn's like, no. Don't use HP Fire. He was like, he put out his thorns, he put out his thorny hands and waved them in front like the Jedi Master he is and said, you must use Hidden Power Grass or some other Hidden Power which is not very effective. And in exchange, I will paralyze you! And that's what happens because apparently I'm a complete and utter moron and I don't have Hidden Power Fire on Latios because of a missav. So, absolutely fantastic. Great start to the battle. I go into Chinstash, who is in dire need of some kind of shave. Fortunately for me, Chinstash doesn't give a fuck about Thunderwave because he's a Resto Chesto set, allowing him to take all these Thunder Waves and everything and not be bothered because he can just Dragon Dance, Dragon Dance, Dragon Dance all day long until he is done. And that's what he does. He gets paralyzed a couple times, which is okay, but in the end is able to rest off all of that DiMaggio, get back to full health, Chesto his way back into being, and bounces through the sky, lands on Ferrothorn's head, tip-top shape in which he is now in. Unfortunately, doesn't kill it, but does paralyze, though certainly gets hurt a hell of a lot by the Iron Barbs. That's terrible. That's really awful. It's like Gyarados falling on Ferrothorn with Bounce is like Saruman falling from the Tower of Isengard onto that giant spike in the extended edition of Two Towers. Or Return of the King. Extended edition of Return of the King. That's when that happens. Because they cut Christopher Lee out of the theatrical version, and there was this whole hoo-ha about it, because Christopher Lee was annoyed. And then they put him in the extended cut. But that doesn't matter, because I am not explaining anything with Pokemon. Going to Mamoswine, intent on finishing off the Ferrothorn with an Earthquake. Instead, he goes into Politoed to set up the rain, but also to show me, hey, I can take Earthquakes. Also, by the way, I have leftovers, so you don't want to stay in here because that would be a bad idea. So we go instead into Sir Davos, who has proved well for me recently. Doing a good job, Sir Davos. Being able to sponge off these water hits and these annoying other Pokemon. Politoed's a big pain in the ass, and having Giga Drain around and resistance and a defensively based set is always beneficial. So, able to take the Scald with ease, and now I'm going to go for a Giga Drain. He decided to switch into Chomp, which I thought was pretty offensive. Was like, okay, but you're not kind of getting any guarantee of a safe switch, but you can do that, that's fine. I'm not kind of arguing against it. And then he pulls the double switch after this, because he probably thought I was going to switch, fearing something, but what I really thought was he's going to substitute, so I want to break that sub. So I'm going to go for Psychic to break his sub, and he goes into Mamoswine. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I don't really have anything that particularly wants to switch into Mamoswine, and there's the possibility he's going to set up Stealth Rocks, so how about I just stay in here and go for Giga Drain? And that's exactly what happens. Giga Drain happens, and his Mamoswine gets killed by it, though he gets Stealth Rocks in the process, which means he does have 2 layers of Spikes and Stealth Rocks, which is kind of a pain in the ass. However, I get rid of a giant threat from his team, so I would say it's a relatively good trade-off, honestly. So, now he goes into Dragonite. And the thought of Hurricane didn't even cross my mind. So when it happened, I just cried and curled up into a little ball and hid in the corner and was like, no, I'm sorry, Sir Davos. I know that you don't like to be caught in storms, but you're going to die now. But he doesn't, ladies and gentlemen, because if you know Sir Davos, no storm can quell him or finish him off in any way because he lives with 14 HP. What the hell? That's fucking great. That's absolutely fantastic. Allows me to go for a Psychic, break the multi-scale. He actually gets paralyzed on this turn, also allowing me to get extra damage with the Psychic. But ladies and gentlemen, that entire event of Celebi living, not only fantastic on a battling standpoint, but also from a thematic standpoint, I thought was pretty damn cool. Because Sir Davos and the Hurricanes, Don't see it too often. But there you go. Unfortunately, it's going to go down to the second one. But I've left Dragonite at a horrible position where it is paralyzed at half HP and so susceptible to Mamoswine, who is going to come in, throw Icicle Spears its way, and hopefully finish it off. But nope, it goes into Ferrothorn instead. And I'm going to finish that thing off with Icicle Spears anyway. So I know, though, that I do need to keep Mamoswine around because it's probably the best way for me to deal with his Garchomp, seeing as I do have Ice Shard. So I don't obviously want to be switching in too much because there's Stealth Rocks and Spikes, but I do want to keep it for Garchomp. And then he kind of hands me a Silver Platter because he goes into Garchomp and I kill it. Now, at the time, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Are you really literally crazy? And apparently he thought that he could live a jolly Ice Shard from a Mamoswine with Life Orb with a 75% HP Garchomp. But newsflash! You can't. So he dies. I honestly don't even think that was a good thing to do in the first place. Why you would switch a Garchomp into a Mamoswine when you have a Starmie makes zero sense to me. But there you go, he did it, and it kind of allows me to just leave Mamoswine to die here because it's already achieved the job that it was set out to do, which was to kill the Garchomp. I can now go into Latios, which I know for a fact can live an Ice Beam because it's unstabbed, there's no Life Orb involved, and I have respectable Spec D. So as long as I don't get paralyzed, which I don't, and as long as I don't miss Draco, which I don't, then everything, little thing, is gonna be alright. Because my territory has been taken back and Starmie is down. La la la. Now he goes into Politoed, which I just should have stayed in on. I really should have. I should have done that because I'm going to go into my Metagross. And it's not going to take the Scald favorably, let's say. I was intending to bring this thing in and then explode. Go out with a bang. I have a normal gem, so I was like, okay, this is going to be good. Then I get Scald, I'm like, I'm probably not going to live another one, but I'm going to try and explode here. And instead of me trying to live a Scald and exploding, he protects. I explode. And, oh! The embarrassment, ladies and gentlemen, and the shame. The shame of exploding on a protect. You have no idea. It's the worst thing. It's the worst thing. I would honestly have preferred that he just killed me with Scald to save me that horrific embarrassment, but he didn't. He protected, and I killed myself. So, going to Latios thinking, hey, I can live a Scald, but then I forget that I have to take Stealth Rock damage upon switching, and obviously, after that, I can't live a Scald. So all I have left is the last stand, literally the last stand, Lucario, who can hopefully do okay. And I'm basically thinking, okay, as long as I get up a Swords Dance, then I can finish off this Politoed. Not with a close combat, because I don't think I'm actually going to be able to kill it with the stock close combat with the Swords Dance. I need to go for an extreme speed, because if I can live a Scald after going for that, I can basically take the game. The only issue would have been if I'd gone for close combat, my defense would have dropped, my special defense would have dropped, so I wouldn't have been able to take a Scald. However, I'm thinking after extreme speed, after +2, after Life Orb, even with my little amount of HP with 199, I should be able to live, and I do on 36. Don't get burned by the Scald, which is extremely important. Now allowing me 2 more Life Orb hits, which means that all I need to do is close combat the Politoed, which will bring me down to 8 HP because Life Orb does 10%, therefore taking 28 off of my total current HP. And then he only has Dragonite left. And Dragonite is left with half HP, meaning that, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in a very, very, very long time, we will see the elusive, the mysterious, the not often performed Pokemon Wi-Fi battle draw. And that is exactly what happens. As I go for the extreme speed, I finish off good old Dragonite. He goes down, and I myself die to Life Orb, which apparently, according to Black and White 2 logic, means that I win. However, I'm going to call it a draw because that is actually what it is. And there you go. So that was the battle. I hope I did an okay narration. Obviously, none of you will see the narration that I did before this, which unfortunately was, I thought, quite good. But that's life. That's how it works sometimes. Shits on you at the worst of times. So, there you go. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, you can click the like button. Abuse it! Be a like button abuser today. Get the t-shirt. And I will see you all in the next video, whenever that so happens to be. So, thank you very much, and goodbye.